Chapter 2131, Wrong Bet. Xiao Dongliang had always been mistaken that Xiao Zijin was more capable than Xiao Nan and was more educated than Xiao Nan. Once she graduated, she would then help her younger sister out. But such a lie would be exposed one day. Initially, her plan had been going just as planned, but Ding Ji had never thought that the truth of the matter would one day be exposed and how unlucky and embarrassed she would be when that time came. It was all in the past anyway. Zijin had gotten married to such a good man, Chen Jun, and had become the pride of the Qiao family. The results were the most important. There was no need to be concerned about the process. But recent events had thrown a curveball at Ding Ji. Not only had the past been brought up again, but Xiao Dongliang had even gotten incensed over it, insisting that Xiao Zijin retake her most hated English proficiency test more than 10 years after her graduation. For the sake of a test, the Qiao family had nearly broken out into a war, causing Ding Ji to have a splitting headache. She had not been the one to ask Zijin to take the test. Why was Zijin throwing a tantrum at her? "Stop shouting at me! Your dad said that he would pay for the registration fee if you can't bear to pay for it. No matter what, you'll have to take it for his sake. He wants to see how much of a difference you and Xiao Nan have between you." Xiao Zijin's face paled. He had asked her to sit for such a difficult test just to find out how different she was from Xiao Nan? What's the point in that? Even if he likes studious kids, it doesn't matter how much Xiao Nan likes to study. She's just a junior high school graduate. I'm the only university graduate in our family. That's a fact. If they were to get into it and find out more, the one who would be the most hurt might not even be her but her dad. At that time, if her dad had not agreed to persuade Xiao Nan into submission, Xiao Nan would never have given up the opportunity to study so as to find a job to pay for Xiao Zijin's school fees. Her dad was one of the reasons why Xiao Nan had suffered so much in the past. He couldn't shirk away from that responsibility. It was because of this that Xiao Zijin especially hated how Xiao Dongliang had suddenly seemed to come to his senses. In fact, he had been just as bad to Xiao Nan. Intentional or not, he had indeed done so. The unintentional hurt that her dad had brought upon Xiao Nan must be worse and more painful than what she and her mom had done to Xiao Nan. They were birds of the same feather. Why did Xiao Dongliang have to come to a sudden realization and turn around to scold her? Xiao Zijin could not help but feel that her dad was too foolish. Xiao Nan was no fool and refused to forgive her. So, did her dad really think that Xiao Nan would not have any grudges toward him and could treat him as though nothing had happened in the past, or that her dad had not done anything to wrong her? Who was he trying to fool? She knew that all the parcels that her dad had tried to send to Xiao Nan had been returned. Did he really think that Xiao Nan would accept him as her father if he acted kindly all of a sudden? Would he become the kindest person in the Qiao family? He could not even deceive himself about that, much less anyone else. All four of them in the family were clear about this. It was just that they were pretending to be ignorant of the situation. Ding Ji sighed. "So, are you going to take the exam?" Ding Ji knew how Xiao Zijin had handed in a blank paper during the civil service examination. If she were to sit for the level 6 proficiency test, Ding Ji had already prepared herself to face the possibility that Xiao Zijin would once again submit a blank piece of paper. Xiao Zijin was already a middle-aged woman in her 40s. There was no way Ding Ji would worry over Xiao Zijin's scores as she had been in the past. It was just that their family refused to give in to each other. Since she could not persuade anyone, she would let them sort it out themselves. Fine. But there's no need to sign up for it. The level 6 proficiency test is already over. It won't be too difficult to get the test paper. Don't worry. I won't resort to cheating when doing it at home. I'll just take the test at home. Don't waste your money on registering for it. I'll just let my dad know what he wants to know. If I really sign up for the test, I'll have to wait for another half a year, at the very least. If her father wanted to go to this extent, she would play along. What did her dad mean by paying for her registration fee? How much money did her dad even have? Everything her dad had came either from her or Xiao Nan. That meant that the registration fee would eventually be from her own pocket. It was ridiculous that her dad was trying to be generous in front of her. After Qiao Zijin agreed to it, Ding Jiyi did not hesitate in letting Qiao Dongliang know. After thinking about it, Qiao Dongliang agreed and allowed Qiao Zijin to buy the level 6 proficiency test papers home to do. Initially, Qiao Dongliang thought that it would be a complicated process, but Qiao Zijin gave Qiao Dongliang a slap in the face in the simplest way possible. Qiao Zijin had just bought the test papers and gave them nothing more than a glance before handing a blank script to Qiao Dongliang. Qiao Dongliang frowned. You haven't even started writing anything. Why are you passing me the paper? He was not the one taking the test. It was supposed to be Zijin. Qiao Zijin sneered. Dad, don't joke with me. I handed in a blank script during the civil service examination too. If you insist on making me sit for the exam, that's all I can do. I graduated more than 10 years ago. There's no way I would still remember all these characters. It's already good that I still remember the 26 alphabets. Are you joking? How can you expect me to sit for the exam? Even if I really do, I'll just take my chances and fill in the multiple choice questions randomly. That's the only good thing about this English proficiency test. There are so many multiple choice questions, but there are only so many choices. I'll have a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right. That's how I managed to pass quite a few of my English tests in university too. That was why it had been much cheaper for her to simply buy a test paper home instead of attending the actual proficiency test. Anyway, all her dad wanted was a result. She had already said that her dad would be the most hurt once they cleared the air. Oh right, Dad. Didn't Jiaonan take the test quite some time ago? Her scores should be out. Did you ask her how she did? Why don't you tell me so that Mom and I can be happy about it too? At least, that would prove that the Qiao family has such studious genes in us. At the very most, her dad had made a wrong bet on her. Qiao Dongliang's face turned green and he had no intention of replying to Qiao Zijin. Chapter 2132, Obvious. Qiao Zijin had scored 0, while Qiao Nan had scored full marks. Yes, Qiao Dongliang felt as though he had been struck by lightning and that his whole life was crumbling apart now that he was faced with such a result. Qiao Dongliang knew that all 3 of them in this family, including him, were to be blamed for such a result. No one could shy away from that. At this time, Qiao Dongliang could not even feel any anger about the parcels that had been returned. Dad, there's no need for you to struggle about it. You'll never be a good dad in Qiao Nan's eyes. It's just that she won't take issue with it anymore. We all treated Qiao Nan the same in the past, so it's better for us to band together for a common goal. Dad, there's no one who's closer to you than me now. Think about how you treated Qiao Nan in the past. She's not a saint either. I'm sure you know how she treated me and Mom. The reason she's willing to have contact with you is to divide the 3 of us. Look how smart Qiao Nan is. Not only is she good at her studies, but she's scheming too. Ever since the 3 of us had a falling out, Qiao Nan has been living a peaceful life with no one creating any trouble for her. No matter how hard her family has it, it has nothing to do with her. That's because she knows that her dad is helping her keep her sister and her mom in line. That's right. Ding Jiyi agreed right away. Old Qiao, you have to believe me and Zijin. We will never lie to you or give up on you. The 3 of us are truly a family. Once Zijin said that, she realized that that did seem to be the case. It was Qiao Nan who had wrecked their family of 3 and had purposely driven a wedge between her and old Qiao. No wonder old Qiao had insisted on getting a divorce from her and had refused to share a bed with her. It must have been that wretched girl, Qiao Nan, who instructed old Qiao to do all these things. Ding Jiyi broke out in a cold sweat upon learning about just how evil and vicious Qiao Nan was. She did not even let her own family off the hook. Even when Xiao Nan had taken all of the family's money when Xiao Zijin had been at her lowest, Ding Jiyi had simply thought of Xiao Nan as a heartless child. But in an instant, Ding Jiyi had realized that her daughter, Xiao Nan, was truly a devil. The former Xiao Nan had never been aggressive, whereas the latter Xiao Nan was pure evil. Thinking about how scary and terrible Xiao Nan was, Ding Jiyi could not help but support Xiao Zijin. Zijin, that wretched girl, Xiao Nan, almost caused your dad and me to get a divorce. Should we distance ourselves from her in the future? Why had Ding Jiyi been so unscrupulous in helping Xiao Zijin at the expense of Xiao Nan? It was not only because she had been the one to give birth to Xiao Nan. It was also because Ding Jiyi knew that no matter how angry Xiao Nan got, the most she would do was to refuse to help out or to ignore them. There was no way someone as soft-hearted as Xiao Nan would be able to fight back and hurt them. She knew clearly that there was no opportunity cost involved in dealing with Xiao Nan. In fact, they might even benefit from it if they were successful. As such, Ding Jiyi unhesitatingly sacrificed Xiao Nan to reach her own goals. But now that Xiao Nan had become aggressive and would attack her, Ding Jiyi could not help but be afraid. Hearing Ding Jiyi jumping in to create trouble, Xiao Zijin wanted very much to kick Ding Jiyi in the foot. She had only said such things to appease her dad. She had never expected her mom to believe what she had said and to be so frightened. Between her mom and Xiao Nan, who was the mother and who was the child? The situation seemed to be reversed. Why was the mother so afraid of her daughter? If it was indeed true that Xiao Nan had such intentions and could harden her heart to do such things to the Xiao family, she would never have the guts to dream of taking Xiao Nan's things without thinking of Xiao Nan's feelings. If that were really the case, would she dare to unscrupulously snatch everything away from Xiao Nan for herself just based on the fact that she was related to Xiao Nan? It was only because Xiao Nan had such a good temper that she was able to treat Xiao Nan so mercilessly. Was her mother so ignorant about the kind of daughter she had given birth to? Her mom was truly a novice. After silently scolding Ding Jiyi in her heart, Xiao Zijin looked straight at Xiao Dongliang. There was no use in Ding Jiyi believing her. Xiao Dongliang had to believe her too. Only then would they be able to align their goals to fulfill her dream. Why had she not thought about that earlier? Kinship was utter nonsense. As long as their interests were aligned and they were in the same boat, she would not need to waste so much effort trying to please her dad. Her dad would naturally be on her side, helping her scheme against Xiao Nan too. Old Xiao, did you hear what Zijin said? I used to tell you that Xiao Nan wasn't a good person but you didn't believe me. You even tried to speak up for her. Now that Zijin has said it, you should believe me now. We still have a long way to go. We can't afford to be deceived by that wretched girl, Xiao Nan. She doesn't have any good intentions toward her own family. The three of us are a real family. Xiao Nan had already been so heartless toward them while Zijin had wholeheartedly thought about taking care of Xiao Nan's 3 children after she passed away. Was it not obvious enough which of their daughters had a conscience? If not for the Zai family's background, those 3 children would never have the good fortune of meeting such a kind stepmom even after having such an evil and wicked mother. Like father like son, like mother like daughter. That would not do. She would have to have a good chat with Zijin later so that she would not treat the 3 children too well once she married into the Zai family. Otherwise, the 3 children might grow up to be as evil as Xiao Nan and misunderstand that Zijin had snatched everything away from Xiao Nan. Actually, it would be enough as long as the 3 children did not starve to death or accidentally die. They should just grow up to be normal. Otherwise, they might cause trouble for Zijin and Feng Feng if they were to be too outstanding. As expected, they could scheme against others, but it was definitely not fine for others to do the same to them. Chapter 2133, Burden. Xiao Dongliang shook his head and stared blankly at Xiao Zijin for a long while. Zijin, I think your only talent is your eloquence. Xiao Dongliang could not deny that he had almost been taken in for a few seconds and had almost agreed with Xiao Zijin. It was just that. Qiao Dongliang had not forgotten the pain of fracturing his bones after being pushed away by Qiao Zijin. It was that pain that had cleared his mind. What he remembered even more clearly was how Qiao Nan had rushed down to the hospital immediately and had paid for his surgery in the moment of his greatest pain. He would only believe what he had seen and experienced for himself. He could differentiate and know who was truly good to him. To put it bluntly, if Nan Nan was only being filial to him so as to drive a wedge between him, Ding Ji, and Qiao Zijin, she would still be much better than Qiao Zijin, who always said that she was filial to her father but valued her money more than her father's life. He was not a fool and could do his own analysis. If one's fake performance was even more affectionate than true love, then that true love would not even be as valuable as that fake performance. It won't be too late for you to say those things when I'm more muddle-headed in a few years' time. If he was clear-headed, he would never believe whatever Qiao Zijin had just said. Qiao Zijin had not expected Qiao Dongliang to react in this manner. She had thought that she had analyzed the issue well and that there was no reason for Qiao Dongliang not to believe her. Who would have known that Qiao Dongliang would make such sarcastic remarks before returning to his room? The way Qiao Dongliang had mocked her and looked at her as though she were a clown angered Qiao Zijin. Qiao Zijin, who had no way of venting her anger, ground her teeth. "Mom, what have you fed my dad this year?" It seemed like her dad's intelligence was growing through a second growth spurt. If her dad had been so sensible 20 years ago, she would never have gotten the chance to force Qiao Nan to support her throughout university. Even though her dad's intelligence had grown 20 years too late, it was equally troubling for her that her dad had suddenly come to his senses. If this went on, her dad would never help her get married to Zai Sheng after Qiao Nan's death. He might even drag her down and prevent her from doing so. After marrying Qiao Nan, Qiao Zijin did not even need to ask Zai Sheng to know whom he had a most favorable opinion of between the three Qiao family members. As such, Qiao Dongliang would be the only one who would be able to convince Zai Sheng after Qiao Nan's death. If Zai Sheng were to listen to her dad and refuse to marry her, what would she do about the rest of her life? As a father, he should, at least, help his daughter find someone who would take care of her for the rest of her life if he could not take care of her himself. Was he not going overboard by dragging her down and not allowing her to have her happiness? "Mom, looking at Dad's attitude toward me, I don't think Dad will agree to let me marry Zai Sheng and take care of Qiao Nan's 3 children after her death. What will we do if Dad really makes a fuss and Zai Sheng listens to him?" Qiao Zijin was truly worried that that would happen. Qiao Zijin was in a frenzy and Ding Ji was anxious too. Surely, he won't do that. "Mom, do you still believe in my dad? He's no longer the person he was in the past. He no longer has you or me in his heart. The only person he cares about now is Qiao Nan. Do you understand? Then, there's nothing I can do." Since old Qiao was no longer the same person he had been, she no longer had the ability to make old Qiao listen to her and stand on her side with Zijin. "You're really..." Qiao Zijin was incensed by how useless Ding Ji was that she could not even keep Qiao Dongliang in line. "Anyway, remember that my dad can never find out about me wanting to marry this matter. If it comes to that, I'll go to the capital first and you'll stay at home with Dad. Once Qiao Nan dies, I'll get a marriage certificate with Zai Sheng before you and Dad come for Qiao Nan's funeral. Then, there's nothing my dad can do no matter how much he disagrees since it will be a protected military marriage. When that time comes, Zai Sheng can't possibly decide to get a divorce from me just because of what Dad says, right?" The Zai family was such a reputable family. There was no way they would do such a thing and make a mockery out of themselves. With such a plan, Qiao Zijin had always felt that Qiao Nan was the largest obstacle in her way. But because of what had just happened, Qiao Zijin suddenly realized that the most difficult person to deal with was not Qiao Nan but Qiao Dongliang. She was only getting into Qiao Dongliang's good books to get close to Qiao Nan and change Qiao Nan's impression of her. Now that things had gotten to this point, Qiao Zijin had no choice but to change her plan and work directly on Qiao Nan. As long as she got Jiao Nan's approval, her dad's opinions would not matter at all. Ding Ji nodded. All right. We'll do that. Do you still want to let your dad see the materials that you retrieved? Qiao Zijin had specially placed all those materials there for Qiao Dongliang to see. Who would have known that Qiao Zijin had spent her entire day buying a test paper and reasoning it out with Qiao Dongliang just because of a proficiency test? As such, Qiao Dongliang had paid no attention to the materials that she had put so much effort into securing. Since Qiao Zijin had already changed her plan, she quickly kept all the materials that she had intended to show Qiao Dongliang, lest he found out too much. She was worried that Qiao Dongliang would find out about how Qiao Nan might not survive childbirth and would thus warn Qiao Nan about how she was scheming against her again. All right. Shall I shred them and throw them away? Ding Ji quickly shredded everything that Qiao Zijin had printed earlier and threw them into the trash can without a moment of hesitation. Qiao Zijin thought that they were an eyesore. Mom, hurry and throw this trash bag away. It will be troublesome if my dad picks it out of the trash can. We can't let my dad know about how dangerous it is for Qiao Nan to be pregnant with triplets at her age. We have to be careful not to leak it to him. Ding Ji patted her chest confidently. Don't worry. I will definitely not say anything to your dad. It's that wretched girl's fault for being so bold to give birth to 3 children at her age. She brought it upon herself. It's not like it's our fault. At the very most, she can only blame the Qiao family's ancestors for not protecting her. That's why she got pregnant with triplets at her age. Since it's their fault, we have nothing to do with it at all. Zijin, don't blame yourself for it or have any nightmares because of it. Chapter 2134, Bleeding. Qiao Zijin tousled her hair. Mom, don't worry. I'm just an ordinary person. I won't even dream of committing murder or arson, let alone do it. I'm just thinking of how best to take care of the 3 children that my sister gave her life to give birth to as well as her most beloved husband. It's not within my control whether she dies. There's nothing for me to be guilty about. Mom, I'm going back to my room to play my video games. Don't sleep too late after watching your drama. What she and her mom needed to do now was to have a good rest so that they would be fully energized once the situation really reached that point. Then, that would be the time for them to act. Qiao Nan simply did not wish for Qiao Dongliang to spend money on her, much less have anything to do with Qiao Zijin. She had never expected Qiao Zijin and Ding Ji to think that she had a foot in the coffin because of that. Knowing that Qiao Nan had it tough and needed someone to take care of her, the Zai family hired a young and strong confinement nanny, who was only 32 years old, to take care of her. From then on, it was always this confinement nanny who accompanied Qiao Nan on her prenatal checkups. Are you tired? Shall I help you massage your waist? Now that Qiao Nan was 7 months pregnant, every second felt torturous to Qiao Nan. It felt even worse than it had been in her dream. Sometimes, Qiao Nan finally fell asleep after a long while due to the pain in her hips and waist, only to be awoken by fright. Upon learning of the situation, the confinement nanny spent almost the entire 24 hours in a day by Qiao Nan's side, lest the same situation occurred again. Actually, you can consider admitting yourself into the hospital if your stomach is too big. At the very least, the doctor will be more skilled in handling the situation if anything happens. The confinement nanny did have experience taking care of pregnant women. However, she did not have any experience taking care of one who was this old and pregnant with triplets. The confinement nanny did not dare to take any chances given the Zai family's position and status. At this time, the confinement nanny had much more confidence in the abilities of the doctors and nurses in the hospital. All right. Qiao Nan felt that every breath was a chore to her. The doctor did mention it when I was about 4 to 5 months pregnant that it would be best for me to be hospitalized once I entered my 7th month of pregnancy in case anything were to happen. It's just that it's much more comfortable to remain at home. That's why I've been putting it off for so long. It had been half a month past the time the doctor had asked her to be admitted. Xiao Nan was not so bold to continue dragging the matter on. This was not just a matter of her own comfort. It concerned the health and safety of her and her children. For herself and for her children's sake, Xiao Nan would not take the chance and remain at home, as she had done in her dream. Now, she was no longer young or strong. She could not continue insisting on remaining at home while hoping that her children could remain in her stomach for a longer period of time. It was truly too heavy of a burden for Xiao Nan to be pregnant with 3 children. Because she loved and cherished the 3 children, she could not afford to be willful and stubborn. That would only harm her 3 children in the end. Help me out. I'll tell Mom and Dad about the situation. I'll get myself admitted today. Xiao Nan could not be certain, but she had a strong voice in her mind, telling her to get herself admitted into the hospital. She wondered if it was because of her anxiety or whether she was being overly sensitive, but Xiao Nan felt that her face was paler than usual and she was feeling rather unwell. All right. The confinement lady seemed even more worried than Xiao Nan at the sight of her expression. The moment Miaojing and Zai Yaowai heard that Xiao Nan wanted to be admitted, they immediately instructed their driver to send Xiao Nan over. Miaojing was flustered and could not help but want to tag along. Old Zai, I'm afraid that I won't be able to fall asleep if I don't watch over her myself. They had worried when they had had no children in the family. It was supposed to be a joyful occasion now that they were welcoming 3 children at once, and yet, they still had to face such a worrying situation. The heavens were truly intent on not giving them a peaceful life. All right, go ahead and check on her. Get the driver to send you back later. Don't dawdle in the hospital later. Think about your age. Don't let the confinement nanny have to worry about you too. Just like Miaojing, Zai Yaowai was worried about Xiao Nan and the children. Because he had read up about pregnancy, Zai Yaowai understood that Xiao Nan was truly putting her life on the line by carrying 3 children for the Zai family at her age. Because of Xiao Nan's good intentions, the Zai family had to do their utmost to ensure Xiao Nan's safety. Moreover, Xiao Nan was carrying their grandchildren. He could not afford to put Xiao Nan or her children in any danger. Not one person in the Zai family would be able to accept such an accident. All one could say was that a woman's 6th sense was often accurate. Xiao Nan had not even been admitted for an hour before her vitals started to fluctuate. Most worryingly, Xiao Nan had found blood on her underwear when she had gone to the toilet. 1. When the confinement nanny heard about that, she wasted no time in calling for the doctor to do a thorough checkup. After an hour, the doctor had checked everything possible. Even before the results were out, the doctor had instructed Xiao Nan to rest on the bed and avoid moving around as much as possible to lower the chances of a miscarriage. Because of this, both Miaojing and Zai Yaowai had gone through a huge scare. At that time, Zai Yaowai had not been present at the birth of his 2 children. The only impression Zai Yaowai had of childbirth was Miaojing being pregnant and her stomach growing. When he had returned, Miaojing's stomach had returned to normal and the baby in Miaojing's arms was almost old enough to wave to him, hit him, and even punch him. It was only now that Xiao Nan was pregnant did Zai Yaowai realize what childbirth was about. Women truly towed the line of death when giving birth. Seeing this, Zai Yaowai did not hesitate in using his special privilege for the first time, ordering Zai Sheng to go on a break and return home. Upon hearing that Xiao Nan and his children had gotten into such a serious situation, Zai Sheng practically flew back. He had not even had the time to return home to change his clothes before rushing down to the hospital. Mom, what's wrong with Nan Nan and the children? Is Nan Nan all right? 1. Chapter 2135, Assurance. Because he had gotten married to Xiao Nan, Zai Sheng had felt for the first time that having a child with his blood was actually a beautiful thing. But now, Zai Sheng regretted that immensely. True enough, his initial opinion had been right. There was no need to insist on having children. To him, Nan Nan was the most important, and the only thing that mattered to him was having Nan Nan by his side until the very end. 1. Miao Jing tried to calm down. Don't worry. She's fine. It's just that something happened a few days ago, but Xiao Nan and the children are in a stable condition now. The doctor said that there's no need for us to worry. Nan Nan is strong and so are the triplets. Where's Nan Nan? I want to see her. Zai Sheng could not rest easy because he had not personally seen her. At this time, he wanted nothing more than to hug and kiss Xiao Nan. Mom, in case. I hope you realize what's the most important to us. I just want Nan Nan to survive. Of course, Zai Sheng hoped that they would not face such a situation and the doctor would not need to ask them whether they wanted to preserve the life of the mother or the children. But that did not mean that it would definitely not happen. He wanted both the mother and the children. But if he were to be faced with that choice, Zai Sheng was a selfish person and would much rather give up the children for his wife. 1. Miao Jing had the urge to slap Zai Sheng on his body, but she had been feeling unwell ever since Xiao Nan had been admitted to the hospital. Even after she calmed down, her hands and feet would tremble involuntarily. She could not imagine how she would respond if the doctor were to pose that question to them. Of course, the mother was important, but she could not bear to give up her grandchildren either. The doctor had not even asked her to make a choice, and yet, her own son, Zai Sheng, had taken the initiative to bring up the matter. Miao Jing could not help but feel as though she had been stabbed in the heart. She resented her son very much. Don't spout nonsense. Nan Nan and the children will be fine. You won't understand because you're not a mother. It doesn't matter what we say. Nan Nan's decision is what matters. Mothers carry their babies for a good 9 months. They're part of our bodies. You men will never understand that pain. They were only outsiders when it came to deciding on whose life to preserve. Only the pregnant lady could make that decision for herself. Miao Jing could feel Xiao Nan's love toward the 3 children all this while. Even if she could bear to give up her grandchildren, she was worried that Xiao Nan herself would not bear to do so. Then, would they be able to convince Xiao Nan? I'll make my own decision on this. Zai Sheng was frustrated and felt that it had not been such a good idea for Xiao Nan to have gotten pregnant at her age. Xiao Nan was still half asleep when she felt someone enter her ward. Because this person felt familiar and made her feel secure and warm, Xiao Nan allowed herself to indulge in sleep. When she awoke for the second time, Xiao Nan was surprised to discover that her husband had returned. Brother Zai, why are you here? It's not time for you to be on your vacation yet. Zai Sheng carefully took Xiao Nan into his embrace and his palm tenderly stroked Xiao Nan's protruding stomach. I missed you and the children, so I came to see you. How are you feeling? Do you feel uncomfortable or unwell? Is your leg swollen? Shall I give you a massage? Xiao Nan blissfully remained in Zai Sheng's embrace and yawned lazily. There's no need for that. The confinement nanny is very good at taking care of me. I haven't swelled up that much. Unless I give birth to the triplets, my waist will always hurt. Nan Nan. Brother Zai. Xiao Nan cut Zai Sheng off. Brother Zai, I can feel that they're in a hurry to meet us. It might not even take a month for us to become parents for real. The confinement nanny said that my body is a little weak, and given that I'm giving birth to 3 babies, it's unlikely that I'll have enough breast milk. Which brand of formula milk do you think we should get for our children? She had not gotten the chance to collaborate with Tiandong in this lifetime to produce a Chinese brand of formula milk. That meant she had to be extremely careful when selecting formula milk and milk bottles for her children. You can make that decision. As long as you're happy. Zai Sheng had already had an answer to her question. Xiao Nan could read Zai Sheng's mind and knew what Zai Sheng had wanted to ask her. Similarly, Zai Sheng had gotten the answer he needed from Xiao Nan's body language. Xiao Nan was assuring Zai Sheng that neither she nor their children would be in danger. All 4 of them would be safe and sound and would stay right by Zai Sheng's side. Xiao Nan heaved a sigh of relief because Zai Sheng had not continued with that topic. She had no intention to face such a brutal and realistic question. Even though she was not as healthy and young as she had been in her dream, she believed that she would be able to protect herself and the children well and that no accidents would happen. People got better with experience. As such, she had all reason to believe that she would do a better job than she had in her dream. So, there was no need to worry, much less talk about those hypothetical situations. The couple shared an embrace without any words, wanting to enjoy the moment of peace and quiet. Zai Sheng patted Xiao Nan constantly on the back as though he was coaxing his daughter. Nan Nan, you and the children will be fine, right? Of course, Xiao Nan answered confidently. Zai Sheng pecked Xiao Nan on the forehead before replying with a single word. Knowing that the couple wanted to have some time to themselves, Miao Jing and Zai Yaowai left them alone. Before Zai Sheng had returned, Miao Jing and Zai Yaowai had been tensed up because Xiao Nan had been hospitalized. Because they were afraid that something would happen to Xiao Nan before Zai Sheng returned, the elderly couple had no choice but to pay more attention to Xiao Nan. Now that Zai Sheng had returned, Zai Yaowai and Miao Jing could finally relax and let Zai Sheng take care of Xiao Nan. Zai Hua had been informed that Xiao Nan had been hospitalized as a precaution. If not for Jia, Zai Hua would have taken off for the capital to take care of Xiao Nan on her parents' behalf. At her parents' age, not only had they not been able to enjoy themselves, but they had even needed to face such great pressure. Chapter 2136, Not at Home. Zai Hua blamed herself for being so stubborn when she had been pregnant with Jia. If she had known that this would be the case, she would have convinced Jia to enroll in a high school in the capital. The capital was the capital of China and had to have a high standard of teaching. It could not possibly be worse than Pingcheng High School. If Jia was a student in the capital, she would have been able to help out with taking care of Xiao Nan. After learning about Xiao Nan's situation, she had held off telling Jia about it, in case Jia got worried and distracted from her studies. Every time Jia returned and asked about Xiao Nan and the babies, Zai Hua would always reply that they were all doing well. It was because of that Zai Hua could not visit the capital. If she were to do so, she would no longer be able to hide the truth from Jia. Mom, what's with you? You've been holding on to your phone the whole day. Is there something wrong? It was finally the weekend, and Jia had returned home from school. But Jia could sense that something was not right. Her mom had not spoken much to her the entire day and sat there blankly, glancing at her phone on the table from time to time. Did something happen in Grandma's house? She was already by her mom's side. That could only mean that the person her mom was worried about could not be her. In that case, there had to be something wrong in her grandma's family. No, it's nothing. Zai Hua quickly gathered her thoughts. It seemed like Jia's desire to become a soldier was not just empty words. She had gotten rather observant. Your grandma called to say that your uncle returned to follow your auntie for a checkup. I'm just wondering how the checkup went. Zai Hua told a half-lie. Knowing that her daughter was grown up and had opinions of her own, she was afraid that Jia would catch on if she were to tell a complete lie. It would be less likely for Jia to call her out if she told a half-lie. So that's what it is. As expected, Jia immediately believed her. Remember to let me know what grandma tells you later. I want to know how my auntie and the babies are doing. Auntie should be more than 7 months pregnant, right? It's such a pity. I wonder if I'll be on my winter break when the babies are born. Jia could not wait for the babies to be born and wanted very much to witness their births. Unfortunately, she was a slave to high school and her studies took precedence over everything else. She could only hope that her winter classes would be shorter and would not stand in her way of seeing her younger siblings. All right, you repeat this all the time. Even if you're not tired of talking about it, I'm tired of hearing it. Your auntie is the most important person in your grandma's family now. Everyone is very worried about her. Nothing will go wrong with her or the children. Your auntie is strong and will do just fine. There's no need for us to worry. Actually, it was normal for pregnant women with multiple births to be admitted slightly earlier, much less given Xiao Nan's age. She had better not scare herself. In less than a month's time, she would get to meet her nephews, and Jia would finally have her long-awaited younger siblings. Having been lectured by Zihua, Jia laughed cheekily. Mom, I'll go back to my room and work on my homework. Our teachers have gotten a little perverted nowadays. They always give us more homework on the weekends. It's as though they want us to spend our weekends at our desks and work for the whole day without any rest at all. My goodness! This is only my first year in high school. I can't imagine how I'm going to get through the next 2.5 years. I'm truly a slave to high school. No wonder people always said that high school was the darkest time of a person's life. Don't be so mischievous. Since you've gotten so many exam papers, you'd better finish every single one of them conscientiously. After your break, I'm sure your teachers will want to check on them. I'll use this against you and tell your younger siblings about it if your teachers deem that you haven't done a good job. Then, don't blame me if the three of them don't listen to you. Jia gritted her teeth. How mean! Her image in front of her younger siblings was the biggest weakness Jia had now. As long as Zihua used that against her, Jia was sure to give in. After persuading Jia to return to her room to work on her papers, Zihua got into a frenzy again. She had certain things to worry about, especially since she was not physically present in the capital and could not keep up with Xiao Nan's condition firsthand. It was exactly because of this that Zihua was even more unsettled. Zihua did not have anyone to confide in at such a time, and at this moment, she could not help but feel lonely and want to have a chat with a friend. Unfortunately, she had not thought of a suitable person whom she could speak to even after thinking about it for a long time. As Xiao Nan's father, even if Xiao Dongliang had not found out about Xiao Nan's condition straight away, he had naturally realized that something was wrong as time went by. After all, Xiao Nan had not contacted him for a whole week. In the first few days, Xiao Dongliang had been worried that Xiao Zijin had included some things in his parcel that had upset Xiao Nan. Not only had Xiao Nan returned everything that he had sent, but she had even thrown a tantrum by not contacting him. Xiao Dongliang could still hold on for a short period of time, but after a week went by, Xiao Dongliang could no longer hold it in and made a call to the Zai family without worrying about whether he would disturb Xiao Nan or the Zai family. Very quickly, Xiao Dongliang's call was answered by the Zai family's auntie. Hello, who are you looking for? Hello, I'm Xiao Nan's dad. Is Nan around? Is it convenient for me to talk to her? Oh, Mr. Xiao. I'm sorry but Nan isn't at home. It was not just today, but Xiao Nan would not be able to remain in contact with the rest of the world for a long time, including her father who was on the other end of the phone call. What's the matter? I can help you pass on your message. Nan, who was in the hospital, could not touch anything with magnetic waves. Of course, that meant that Xiao Nan was not allowed to use a mobile phone. Nan is not around? Do you mean she went out? She is already more than 7 months pregnant. Where could she have gone? Nan doesn't seem to be reckless enough to run about with her stomach like that. Chapter 2137, Perfect. With a big belly, Nan's movements would definitely not be convenient and she shouldn't do anything hasty, right? Nan didn't look like someone insensible who would joke around with her and her children's lives. The auntie hesitated a bit. She didn't know if she should tell Xiao Dongliang about Xiao Nan's situation. The auntie faintly felt that Xiao Nan didn't have a good relationship with the Xiao family. The only person Xiao Nan still kept in contact with from her family was Xiao Dongliang. However, the Zai family didn't mention this name from the Xiao family often either. Based on this complicated relationship, the auntie didn't know what could be said to Xiao Dongliang and what couldn't. Is it Nan? Did something happen to Nan? Xiao Dongliang's face changed. Didn't you always say that Nan Nan is in good health and both she and the children are all right? Did something happen? Did someone bully Nan Nan? As a pregnant woman who had always been in good health, Xiao Nan's and the children's situations would have turned grim only if Xiao Nan suffered interference from the outside world. Upon thinking that Xiao Nan's birth was very ordinary as compared to Zai Sheng's, Xiao Dongliang wasn't the least bit surprised that someone would bully Xiao Nan. But it didn't mean that he wouldn't be angry at all. Whose children were not raised by their parents? So what if their Xiao family's conditions were a bit poorer? This didn't mean that their children could be casually bullied by others. Mr. Xiao, don't be nervous. Nan Nan is the Zai family's treasure. Who dares to bully Nan Nan? It's just that Nan Nan is no longer young and she's pregnant with 3 children. Pregnant women who are carrying multiple children are inherently at a higher risk level compared to pregnant women who are carrying a single child. As such, Nan Nan went to the hospital in advance to protect her children. It seemed like Mr. Qiao's concern for Nan Nan was genuine. Went to the hospital to protect her children. Xiao Dongliang grasped the keywords. That means to say that Xiao Nan's situation isn't very optimistic indeed? How are Nan Nan and the children? Are there any improvements? What did the doctor say? Xiao Dongliang was so anxious that he felt his heart was on fire. His daughter wasn't before him. It really wasn't too convenient for him to find out more about Xiao Nan's situation. By asking over the phone, the other party might not be able to share details clearly. In short, if he didn't see for himself that his younger daughter was indeed all right, his heart couldn't settle down. Which hospital is Nan Nan in now? I'll go to the capital to see her. Since he wasn't feeling at ease, he should make a trip down to see for himself personally. Xiao Dongliang always thought that with the Zai family taking care of Xiao Nan's pregnancy would be smooth sailing and there wouldn't be any issues. When he heard the auntie mention today that Xiao Nan was getting older and it was even tougher on pregnant women with multiple children compared to pregnant women with a single child, Xiao Dongliang thought of Xiao Nan's actual situation. Xiao Dongliang heard of the term geriatric pregnancy before. If it were in the past, Xiao Dongliang would never be able to travel on a whim. Thankfully, after obtaining 200,000 yuan from Ding Ji, Xiao Dongliang became more confident when he said these words. He no longer needed to ask anyone else for money. If he wanted to go to the capital to see his daughter and grandchildren, he could. As he had money in his pockets now, Xiao Dongliang was completely capable of arranging a place for him to live in after reaching the capital. He didn't need to trouble the Zai family and throw Xiao Nan's face or be looked down upon by the Zai family. The auntie wanted to say that the matter wasn't that serious and Xiao Dongliang didn't need to make this trip. The auntie personally heard Xiao Nan telling Xiao Dongliang over the phone previously that Xiao Dongliang should come to the capital as her children's grandfather only after her confinement to celebrate their 100 days of birth. Anyway, if Xiao Dongliang came over, he wouldn't be of much help or change Xiao Nan's situation. At that time, there would be one more person who knew about this matter and it would be more troublesome. As such, it was better for him not to come over. It was just that before the auntie could finish expressing her opinions, the anxious Xiao Dongliang had long made his decision and hung up the call. After hanging up the call, Xiao Dongliang rushed to the train station and bought a ticket to go to the capital for the next day. After buying the ticket, Xiao Dongliang rushed home again and packed a few pieces of seasonal clothing and a thick coat for himself. After making all the preparations, he was just waiting for the train to go to the capital tomorrow. "Dad, what are you doing?" Ever since that failed conversation, Xiao Dongliang's attitude toward Xiao Zijin became colder, returning to the state that it was a few months ago. Xiao Dongliang dared to do so but Xiao Zijin didn't. As long as she still wanted to have a good relationship with Xiao Nan, Xiao Zijin couldn't lose either Xiao Dongliang, her father, or Ding Ji, her mother. As long as Xiao Dongliang and Ding Ji were alive, she and Xiao Nan were still close birth sisters. Once their parents were gone, it would depend entirely on each other if they would still be close or not. Xiao Zijin could guess what Xiao Nan was thinking about without waiting for the day their parents were gone. It was precisely because of this that Xiao Zijin knew clearly that as long as Xiao Dongliang and Ding Ji were still alive, Xiao Nan didn't need to think about getting rid of her. More or less, Xiao Nan had to let her benefit in some way. Based on this situation, Xiao Zijin didn't pay less attention to Xiao Dongliang than before their argument. Seeing that Xiao Dongliang spent quite some time in his room alone, Xiao Zijin felt extremely curious and entered his room. After that, she saw Xiao Dongliang's packed luggage. "Dad, are you going on a holiday? Why didn't I hear you mention this before?" Her father was becoming trendier as he became older. When he was young, he didn't head outside often. Now, he was going to be in his 70s, but he could leave his family behind and lead a carefree life outside alone. However, that was good as well. Once her father left, it would be more convenient for her to do certain things. Also, once he left, it would be impossible for him to find out what happened to Xiao Nan's pregnancy. If her father didn't know, he wouldn't create trouble and ruin her plan. Upon thinking about this, Xiao Zijin felt that it was desirable. "That's right as well. Dad, at your age, you should let go. While you can still walk, go out, see more things, and have fun. If it wasn't inconvenient, I would have accompanied you outside." "Oh right, Dad. It has been tough on Mom to be with you for half her lifetime. Bring her along as well. I'll fork out all the money." She would pay for her mother's expenses. She could also fork out her father's share. At that time, both her parents wouldn't be at home. With her mother keeping an eye on her father, he couldn't create trouble. Her mother could also control the situation between her and Xiao Nan remotely via mobile. Before Xiao Nan died, she could request a little something as well. Perfect. Chapter 2138, Furious. "Oh right, Dad. You haven't shared where you are going. Why don't we do this? No matter where you're going, change your itinerary. I'll pay for both your expenses. The two of you should follow the route of Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand. I heard that this is fun. What a rare opportunity this will be for you to go overseas." If she sent her parents out of the country, even if her father found out about Xiao Nan's situation through whatever channels then and wanted to rush back, so be it. Once they were overseas, her father would be unfamiliar with both the place and language. When her father finally thought of a way to return, he had to rush back to the country first before rushing to the capital. When her father stood in front of Xiao Nan, everything would have been done and Xiao Nan's corpse might even already be cold then. 1. Xiao Dongliang, who wanted to pack his luggage, couldn't take time off to chat with Xiao Zijin. It could also be said that he didn't particularly want to bother himself with Xiao Zijin. It was just that when he heard Xiao Zijin saying so many things alone but wasn't feeling tired, and after confirming that he had brought along everything he wanted, Xiao Dongliang took some time to answer Xiao Zijin's question. "No. You've said before that when I was young, I didn't go out much. At this age, if something happened to me when I'm out, wouldn't I be adding trouble to both you and your sister?" Xiao Dongliang was self-conscious. In his current situation, what he could do was not to help his children but to live a better life himself and create lesser trouble for his children. That would be the biggest way he, as a father, could help his children. Holiday? An overseas holiday? Sorry, but he didn't have this thought at all. Then, you. If he wasn't going on a holiday, why did he pack his luggage? It couldn't be that her father was still throwing tantrums with her mother, right? Previously, he said that he wanted to sleep in separate rooms from her mother. Indeed, her father's methods had upgraded and he no longer wanted to stay in the same house as her mother. Was there such a need? "I'm going to the capital to see Nan Nan." Xiao Dongliang didn't feel that there was anything wrong with this matter. As such, he could naturally openly say, Nan Nan is already 40 years old. Her first pregnancy is tough as she's carrying 3 children. I made a call to the capital today. The Zai family said that Nan Nan has already headed to the hospital to protect her children. I have to make a trip to the capital personally and see for myself Nan Nan's situation so that I can feel at ease. Xiao Nan is in the hospital to protect her children. Xiao Zijin's eyes shone and her tone became excited. If Xiao Nan was in the hospital to protect her children, this meant that the answers she had gotten from the doctors on the internet were true. At this age, Xiao Nan was pregnant with triplets and she wasn't willing to go for an abortion. This simply meant that she was courting her own death. Right, Xiao Nan was now 7 months pregnant. Indeed, any bad situation should have happened now. If that was the case, she couldn't continue to stay in Pingcheng and wait for good luck to come to her. It was time for her to take the initiative and fight for her happiness. Thankfully, she asked her father. Otherwise, she wouldn't have known about Xiao Nan's situation. Dad, it's tough on you to travel all the way there. How is that tough? No matter how far it is. It's not tough to visit Nan Nan. Xiao Dongliang placed his bags on the table and was ready to wash up and sleep. Only if he rested earlier today would he have the energy and physical strength to care about his daughter and grandchildren tomorrow after taking a train to the capital. It was much tougher when I was a young soldier. I'm a burly man. You don't have to worry about me. After I'm gone, keep an eye on your mother. If you two could come up with less bad ideas, it would be better than anything else. As long as Zijin came up with less bad ideas, he could save quite a bit of thought and energy. As long as Zijin did this, that would be the greatest filial piety to him. Dad, don't be anxious. I haven't finished my words yet. Xiao Zijin rolled her eyes. What she wanted to express was not this at all. Dad, I'm just trying to say that I know you're concerned about Nan Nan, so you don't find it tiresome at all. However, I feel heartache for you. Why don't we do this? I'll go on behalf of you to visit Nan Nan. Dad, you're my and Nan Nan's birth father. However, regardless of how close you are to her, you're a man. Nan Nan and I have both grown up and we have our own family. If there's really anything, it isn't that convenient for you to take care of Nan Nan. I'm different. Nan Nan and I are women. I'm her birth sister. No matter what kind of situation Nan Nan runs into, there wouldn't be an inconvenient time for me to take care of Nan Nan. How could a father be involved when his daughter was going to give birth? Compared to her, how could it be more convenient for her father to help? Don't. Once he heard Xiao Zijin's suggestion, Xiao Dongliang rejected Xiao Zijin's good intentions without thinking. You have thought too much. After Nan Nan got pregnant, the Zai family specially hired a confinement wife to take care of Nan Nan. I just want to see Nan Nan for myself and confirm that she and the children are well. Help? I didn't have such thoughts. There are so many people in the Zai family. How would they need my help? Don't forget that Nan Nan has her in-laws. Her father-in-law would be as inconvenient as him, the birth father. That was all right. Nan Nan still had her mother-in-law. He never thought that he would be able to help Nan Nan. As for Zijin? Really, Zijin could just save her thoughts. He would accept Zijin's good intentions on behalf of Nan Nan. Something had already happened to Xiao Nan. How would Xiao Dongliang dare to let Xiao Zijin help Xiao Nan? Xiao Dongliang wasn't so bold and wasn't that confident of Xiao Zijin. I can go on behalf of you as well. I'm young and I don't get motion sickness. No matter what, she would be more useful than her father, right? Dad, don't worry. After I see Nan Nan, I would definitely tell you everything about Nan Nan's condition. No matter what happened, her father couldn't go on this trip to the capital. Only she could go. Xiao Dongliang waved his hand. He had already decided on this matter. There was no room for changes. You don't have to say anything anymore. I must make a trip down myself. It's your business if you want to visit Nan Nan or not. You can just decide for yourself. Also, it's not early anymore. I'm done with dinner, so I want to rest now. Go out. Also, remember to help me close the door. Qiao Zijin was so furious. She was talking reason to her father. Why was it that he didn't understand at all and insisted on his way? Why must he be so annoying? However, Qiao Dongliang had already said those words. If Qiao Zijin continued to dawdle, she would seem ill-intentioned. The more this happened, the more Qiao Dongliang would be unwilling to let her go to the capital to visit Nan Nan on behalf of him. Chapter 2139, Loss. Haste makes waste. Knowing that Qiao Dongliang wouldn't change his mind temporarily, Qiao Zijin could only temporarily give up and walk out of Qiao Dongliang's room. She even obediently helped Qiao Dongliang close the door so that Ding Ji, who was watching TV, wouldn't disturb Qiao Dongliang's rest. Ding Ji drank a sip of water. As she had been eating too many melon seeds lately, Ding Ji felt that she was getting heaty. You and your dad have chatted for a long time. What were you chatting about? Is he no longer angry at you? Did he tell you about Qiao Nan's recent situation? Don't talk about it anymore. Qiao Zijin waved her hand unhappily. The money I spent previously wasn't in vain. Indeed, Qiao Nan isn't in a good situation. I heard Dad say that she's already in the hospital to protect her children. Dad has already packed his luggage and wants to go to the capital to see his younger daughter. I told him it would be tough on him and that I could go on behalf of him. He became unhappy and wasn't willing to promise me. Mom, we can't let Dad go to the capital this time. Help me think of something to keep him here. After he stays here, I can go to the capital to visit Qiao Nan. Qiao Nan is really admitted. In the past 2 years, Ding Ji had been frustrated. Whatever she wished for didn't come true. It was as if she was on a spate of bad luck. It was rare for something to come true now. How could Ding Ji not be happy? How is Qiao Nan now? Did your dad tell you when she's dying? If Qiao Nan died, the days that she and Zijin wished for would arrive sooner. No. Qiao Zijin shook her head. Qiao Nan is Zai Sheng's wife, basically the wife of the chief. Even if Qiao Nan couldn't be saved, as long as she's still breathing, who would dare to say that she's dying? No matter how democratic, in the face of someone like Zai Sheng, the doctors wouldn't utter nonsense. Dad only told me that Qiao Nan is in the hospital to protect her children. He didn't say anything else. However, there wasn't a huge difference between what was said and what wasn't. She understood the general meaning of the situation. Is that so? Ding Ji drank all the remaining water in the cup. All right, I understand. Don't worry. I can't achieve big things. To prevent your dad from getting on the train tomorrow and make it impossible for your dad to visit Qiao Nan in the capital in the near future is easy for me. Wait and see if your dad can get on the train tomorrow. Mom, are you sure? Preventing her dad from getting on the train was the first step for her to successfully go to the capital. Ding Ji didn't say anything else and just lightly patted Qiao Zijin's shoulder. She told Qiao Zijin to have a good night's sleep and replenish her energy. Only if she replenished her energy could she go to the capital to visit Qiao Nan and her 3 children on behalf of Qiao Dongliang tomorrow. Qiao Zijin curved her lips and smiled. She could feel that her mother was really quite confident this time. Mom, thank you. I'll head to bed first. I'll wait for your good news tomorrow. This time, her mother was finally able to help her and make her feel at ease. The mother-daughter pair seemed to have some tacit understanding. Qiao Zijin didn't ask Ding Ji what she planned to do. She only needed a result, which was for Qiao Dongliang not to get on the train tomorrow and go to the capital to see Qiao Nan. This time, Ding Ji really succeeded. Compared to the past, it wasn't that convenient to take the train now. One had to have their identity card checked and approved by the machine before being allowed to board the train. As Qiao Dongliang had already prepared everything the night before, he took his luggage and went to the train station early the next morning. The problem was that he was stuck when trying to enter the station. "Sorry, can you produce your ID card?" "All right." Xiao Dongliang took out his wallet and tried to dig out his identity card. Who knew that the train ticket was still in his wallet, but the identity card used to purchase the train ticket yesterday wasn't? As there were quite a lot of people waiting behind, Xiao Dongliang laughed in embarrassment. "Let the people behind go first. I'll find my identity card. I bought the train ticket yesterday and might have forgotten to place my identity card in my wallet." "All right." The station security personnel had no reason to disagree. Xiao Dongliang was willing to give up his position and move to the side to find his identity card. That was the best thing that could happen. Not only did Xiao Dongliang turn his wallet over, but he even turned his luggage over. However, he still couldn't find his identity card. It was strange. Could it be that I left my identity card at home? Xiao Dongliang was confused. He remembered that after he bought his train ticket, he immediately placed the small change, ticket and identity card in his wallet. Now, the ticket and small change were in his wallet but the ticket wasn't. Without his identity card, he wouldn't be allowed to board the train. He had no other choice. Xiao Dongliang hurriedly hailed a taxi at the station and rushed home. Thankfully, Xiao Dongliang knew that he was going to board the train today. All along, there were only people waiting for the train, not the other way round. As such, he went to the station especially early today. Even if he had to make another trip home to get his identity card, Xiao Dongliang calculated that there was just enough time. Xiao Dongliang even calculated the time well. However, the reality was a blow to him. Xiao Dongliang rummaged through boxes and cabinets and was about to finish searching his entire room. However, he still couldn't find his identity card. Xiao Dongliang usually didn't go anywhere. After buying the train ticket yesterday, he returned home immediately and didn't go anywhere else. As such, how could his identity card disappear? "Old Xiao, what are you doing?" "Oh, right. There's a taxi parked outside. The driver asked when you are leaving. By asking him to stop in front of our house, the meter is still jumping at this moment. We would have to pay for it." Ding Jiyi walked into Xiao Dongliang's room with an ignorant expression. "The driver is still rushing to do business. Are you done? If yes, hurry back to the train station so that you won't miss the train. Also, what are you looking for?" "My identity card." Xiao Dongliang started to sweat. "Old Ding, did you see my identity card yesterday?" So be it that the meter was jumping. He wasn't lacking that amount of money. He would just let the driver wait at the door for a while longer. "Your identity card?" Ding Jiyi shrugged her shoulders and smiled. "How long has it been since the two of us haven't been staying in the same room? I can't even enter your room, so how would I know where you placed your identity card? You can't board the train if you can't find your identity card." "Dad, your identity card is missing? How could this be? Try to find it again." Xiao Zijin's eyes shone when she walked over and listened to this conversation. However, she reacted very quickly and made her tone sound not as cheerful. However, it was inevitable that she looked at Ding Jiyi with appreciation. Actually, her mother was pretty reliable most of the time. Chapter 2140, Couldn't Wait. Her mother actually lost her father's identity card. Indeed, for a period of time, her father didn't need to think about leaving Pingcheng, let alone confirming his identity. It would take at least a month for an identity card to be reissued. By then, Xiao Nan would have long become ashes and she should be able to become the next wife of the chief. After seeing Xiao Zijin give her a thumbs up secretly, Ding Jiyi looked at Xiao Zijin warningly to tell her not to be so happy first. If Xiao Dongliang saw this, there would be trouble again. Furthermore, nothing was absolute in this world. Based on Xiao Zijin's words, she could only delay for a little while and keep old Chiao here first so that Zijin could go to the capital. Dad, the taxi you hailed is about to leave. If you can't find your identity card now, how are you going to board the train? Chiao Zijin asked hypocritically. Chiao Dongliang used his sleeve to wipe the sweat from his forehead. Zijin, take this 100 yuan and give it to the driver who's parked outside our house. I'm sorry to let him wait for so long. There's no need to return any small change. Let him do his business. Forget it if I can't board the train today. When I find my identity card, I'll board the train tomorrow. It's all right to be late for a day. Chiao Dongliang only felt that he had seen a ghost today. When he bought the train ticket yesterday, he had used his identity card. After buying the ticket, he placed all 3 items back into his wallet at the train station. He didn't lose his wallet and his train ticket and small change were still intact. Why was it that only his identity card was missing? Could it be that he didn't place his identity card properly and it dropped out of the wallet? As he couldn't find his identity card at home, Chiao Dongliang couldn't help but self-doubt. He thought that he didn't put away his identity card properly when he returned yesterday and thus had lost it. After searching through his luggage and room, Chiao Dongliang confirmed that the identity card shouldn't be at home. The identity card couldn't have fallen into the corners of the house. As such, he should have misplaced his identity card outside. Both of you will be home, right? I'll head outside for a while. Ding Jiyi's heart jumped and she hurriedly pulled Chiao Dongliang back. It's so early in the morning. You didn't find your identity card and you can't board the train to the capital. Where else are you planning to head to? Chiao Dongliang took a deep breath. I'll go to the police stations nearby and ask around. If the photo doesn't match the person's face, an identity card would be useless as it can't be used. Perhaps someone picked it up and returned it to the police station. I'll ask around and see if there's mine. What if he found it? To an ordinary person, his identity card was really useless. However, it was very useful to him. If he couldn't find his identity card back, he wouldn't be able to visit his daughter. 1. Oh, I see. Go ahead then. Once she heard that Chiao Dongliang was going to look for his identity card, Ding Jiyi felt more at ease and left Chiao Dongliang be. After Chiao Dongliang left, Chiao Zijin asked Ding Jiyi, Mom, where did you hide Dad's identity card? Is it safe? Don't let him find out where it is and end up delaying him for just a few days. We have to make sure that he won't be able to go. That way, he won't pull me back and disallow me to go. Chiao Nan is going to give birth. Someone from the Chiao family should be there as a representative to show care and concern toward Chiao Nan. Compared to Ding Jiyi, Chiao Zijin was confident that she would be the one to go to the capital to visit Chiao Nan on behalf of Chiao Dongliang. Ding Jiyi smiled smugly. Your dad would definitely not find his identity card back. I didn't hide it at all. I cut and burned it. It had already become a small black ball. Even if old Chia really saw it, he couldn't possibly recognize that this was the identity card he was anxiously looking for. It takes about a month to make another identity card. Chiao Nan is already 7 months pregnant now. She shouldn't be able to wait for your dad for a month. In short, when old Chia received his new identity card, Zijin would have already become Zai Sheng's third wife. When Chiao Nan's triplets grew up, they had to call Zijin mom. After knowing how Ding Ji handled Chiao Zijin's identity card, Chiao Zijin no longer had any worries. Mom, you're formidable. Compared to her dad, her mom's skills were great. Her dad couldn't possibly win against her. Alright, when your dad returns later, don't let the cat out of the bag. Don't utter nonsense in front of him either. Your dad isn't a fool. He's quite smart. If he knows that we have deliberately destroyed his identity card, don't blame it on me if your matter with Zai Sheng couldn't succeed then. Also, hurry up and pack your bags. You are going over in the name of taking care of Chiao Nan. Don't be lazy such that we don't know who is actually taking care of whom. Your dad is smart and the Zai family isn't easy to deal with. I won't be by your side. You have to rely on yourself for everything. Think over things properly and don't always try to appease people by coaxing. A lot of women would want to grab a good man like Zai Sheng. Her daughter was worried about marrying. However, Zai Sheng wasn't worried about not having a wife. Sure, I'll remember all your words. I promise not to make these mistakes. In front of the Chen family, she couldn't lift her head up. In front of the Zai family, she would naturally be more careful and work hard so that the Zai family would accept her. She didn't believe that she would be worse than Xiao Nan when it came to the things that Xiao Nan could do. Ding Jiyi already finished saying what she could say. After Qiao Zijin left Pingcheng and arrived in the capital, even if Ding Jiyi was concerned, it would be beyond her ability to help her. Qiao Zijin had to rely on herself for everything. Go on. Mom believes that you can definitely do it. You have to remember that you're more outstanding than that wretched girl and you would do better than her. She didn't know what was wrong with the Zai family's eyes. Zijin was obviously better than that wretched girl 100 and even 1,000 times. Why would the Zai family rather let Zai Sheng marry Qiao Nan instead of Qiao Zijin? However, gold always shines. When Qiao Nan, the obstacle, was gone, as long as the Zai family wasn't blind, they would understand how good Zijin was and let Zai Sheng marry her. As a mother, when she thought of Qiao Zijin, her daughter, Ding Jiyi felt confident. Just as Ding Jiyi said, Qiao Dongliang naturally couldn't find his identity card despite searching high and low at the Qiao family and all the police stations in Pingcheng. When Qiao Dongliang heard that it would take a month to get a new identity card, Qiao Dongliang became anxious. I can't wait for a month.